Hey, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny here with Barry. Barry, a huge college basketball game coming up this Saturday afternoon. It's going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Unfortunately not here. I wish it were, because it'd be fantastic to be at. But OU goes to LSU. It's this Big 12 SEC challenge. And of course, everybody's going to be watching the two National Player of the Year candidates, that being Buddy Hield from OU, Ben Simmons from LSU. And Barry, these two guys have really set college basketball buzz. But I think as much as anything around here, you know, I mentioned I wish this game were here. I think it would be the biggest thing going if they were playing in Norman. The buzz is back about OU basketball.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And this is such a marquee game because you got what appears to be the two leading candidates for National Player of the Year. Ben Simmons, we've come to expect a true freshman to be the best player. They're always the first pick in the draft with the one-and-done culture, and LSU won the lottery with Ben Simmons, so they've got the next LeBron James. He appears to be the best college freshman maybe since Kevin Durant 9 years ago. So a lot of buzz with Ben Simmons, but Buddy Hield is having a season for the ages as a fourth-year senior, and his production, his efficiency, historic, shooting over 50% from three-point range, averaging 26 points a game like it's 1974, and guys used to do that. So, you know, it's one thing that the success of the OU team, we sort of saw the transcendency of Buddy Hield. We thought he would be a star. We thought he'd be an All-American, but the best player in America. It's been a fabulous story.
Yeah, and this is actually something that I'm diving into a little bit deeper in the Friday Oklahoman and on News OK. You'll want to check out sort of the why behind Buddy Hield's elevation. As you say, Barry, I mean, he was Big 12 Player of the Year a year ago, but that's a long ways from being now really the front runner for National Player of the Year. What happens Saturday could have some impact on that, but clearly Buddy Hield's the best player on the best team amongst the National Player of the Year candidates, clearly having a huge impact on a team that is having fantastic success this year. But he traces it all back to last April when he got his NBA draft projections, those comments and different things from execs at NBA teams, scouts with NBA teams that basically said, you know, you might go late first round, but there's a better chance you're a second round guy, and that's because of ball handling, that's because of mid-range game, that's because of getting to the rim and finishing there. And Buddy Hield got mad, and he did something about it, and we're seeing the results of that. Just like you say, a fantastic year. Has a chance, as you wrote about, to go get the Big 12 scoring title, which would be huge.
Yeah, and it's historic what he's doing. And when he's a little bit of a stranger in his own land, in that I'm not sure we appreciate how big of a story he's become. Nationally, he's becoming a sort of a cult figure with the Bahama background, with the fabulous personality and the big smile. We're sort of used to it here. We're not jaded by it. We enjoy it, but we're sort of used to it. Across the America, people are looking at Buddy Hield and saying, wow, look at this guy. Look at this great story in college basketball. A fourth-year guy who's been around forever and now is the best player in America. So just a phenomenal season. I guess I'll give you some advice. And it's advice. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. We got about 2 months left of this. Let's enjoy it, because this is a special thing happening right before our eyes. Doesn't happen very often here. Doesn't happen very often anywhere. Let's enjoy Buddy Hield and this Sooner basketball team.
I'll put it into some context, Buddy Hield, what you're saying about how he's became such a figure nationally. I was working on Wednesday afternoon, happened to have, in the office, we happened to have, I think ESPN or ESPN2, whatever, the talking heads late in the afternoon were on, and I just out of the corner of my eye would occasionally glance up and sort of see what they were talking about, and on two separate shows, Buddy Hield became the topic of conversation for part of the segment. At one point they were talking about, is Buddy Hield a better pro prospect than Ben Simmons? And in the second one they were talking about some comparisons that were being made between Buddy Hield and Steph Curry, Barry. I mean, that's about as big as you get when a guy is challenging, like you said, the guy that's the foregone conclusion #1 player in the draft and the reigning MVP in the league. When those are the guys that you're being linked to, that's remarkable. Last thing I'll ask you about this. When we talk about Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, where do you lean? A guy that's having the kind of season and impact on a team like Hield is having? Do you like a Simmons who's projected as one of the best to go into the pro game? What do you weigh out when it comes to National Player of the Year?
Well, I never get involved. I'm not involved in the process, but in my mind, and what the voters should do, the NBA draft status shouldn't matter. Yes, Ben Simmons is a transcendent player. Yes, he's a phenomenal prospect. Yes, he's probably going to turn an NBA franchise around. Going to be much along the lines of a Durant, of a LeBron James. However, as a college player, he really hasn't impacted this season. He hasn't pronounced himself on the college basketball stage the way Buddy Hield has. Number one team in America, averaging 26 points a game in a power conference, which never happens anymore these days. Shooting over for 50% from the field. It's not like Buddy Hield's a volume shooter.
Barry, he scored 30 points the other night on 12 shots.
He took, literally, he used 17 possessions. 17 possessions, 12 shots, 8 foul shots, which is the equal of 4 possessions, 1 turnover. In 17 possessions, he scored 30 points.
Yeah.
It's an historic season.
It is unbelievable. Yeah, and I would say that, again, Ben Simmons having a great year. You mentioned Kevin Durant a little bit ago. But when Kevin Durant was that freshman phenom, Texas was a really good team, Barry. That was, I mean, he really elevated Texas, and they obviously had some other players. But I just don't see that. LSU's fighting for its NCAA tournament life, and while people are interested to watch them, I think people are really flocking to see what Buddy Hield's doing. Buddy Love, you know, Air Bud, whatever you want to call him. He is a phenomenon. I think he's now that guy that he's basically going to have to lose National Player of the Year, because I think it's his, especially if he keeps playing, like we're talking about, historically well.